What is going on, guys? My name is the Direct Gamer, but you can call me TTG. And tomorrow, February 23rd, not only are we getting double XP for Division, and double weapon XP, but we got a major update coming that's going to buff sprint out times, and we're also going to have weapon tuning. Now, I'll leave the link from Charlie Intel in the description below, showing you all the updates and all the changes they're going to do, but we are finally going to get that buff sprint out time and the buff ADS time on the SMGs, and I'll go over it right now. Now the ADS transition times and the ADS from sprint times and the ADS sprint out times are going to be changing. On the SMGs, we're going to get a buffed base ADS time and buffed ADS in from sprint times. With in parentheses ADS sprint out times match ADS from sprint times. So what that is pretty much going to mean is we're going to get a buff, we're going to get an increase, you're going to be able to aim faster. It's going to be like we're going to have dexterity, or we're going to have fast, no, it's not fast hands, whatever the one, you pull up after sprint faster, you aim faster off a sprint. Now in the rifles, we're going to have buffed based ADS transition times, but not ADS times from sprint, ADS sprint out times, in an effort to maintain a difference between the SMG and assault rifle class playstyles. So meaning the assault rifles are not going to be buffed from sprint out times, which means from sprint out time their assault rifles are going to stay the same, but they are getting an ADS transition times, which means they'll aim faster, but you're still going to have the animation coming off sprint, and that's really going to separate the difference between an SMG and the assault rifle. I feel like the SMGs are going to be the go-to weapon, go-to class now. But let's move on. Snipers. Now the snipers, the Kar 98K and the M1903, they are going to get a quick scoping nerf. They are going to nerf the ADS transition times. So all you quick scopers out there, you might still be able to quick scope. It's just going to be a little bit harder. It's going to be a little bit longer ADSing. So a quick scoping nerf to the Kar 98K, which basically just got nerfed a couple weeks ago, and then the M1903. Now the LMGs, they're going to get another buff at the ADS time. I think it was a couple weeks ago to a month ago. They got a buff in aim down sight times, meaning when you aim, you basically move a little bit faster. It was like having stock on an LMG, but now we got a buffed based ADS time. Now let's go over some weapon tune-in changes. They are tuning some weapons. Let's take a look at it. Let's start with the MP40. They buffed the recoil in an effort to have a more competitive SMG on par with the PPSH 41. So the MP40 is going to have better recoil. PPSH 41 is pretty much like a laser beam. At that short to medium range. At long range, it's still pretty good. So we're going to have the MP40 kind of like in par with the PPSH 41. The MP40 is kind of bad at range. So hopefully with this recoil, it'll turn it into a god gun. The FG42, they nerfed the fire rate so that the damage output is more in line with the other weapons in its class. So pretty much the FG42, they nerfed the fire rate. And it looks like they affected the damage output. I don't know if that means range. The SVT-40, they buffed the recoil in an effort to make it more manageable to shoot down range and give a better contrast to the M1 Grand. And then they also nerfed the hip spread to match the M1 Grands in an effort to decrease the ability to quickly kill opponents at closer range. So pretty much they're making the SVT-40 in line with the M1 Grand. The M1 Grand seems like it's the only good semi-automatic rifle. Looks like they're making the SVT-40 trying to be like the M1 Grand. The M1A1, they buffed the fire rate in an effort to make it more competitive choice amongst the other rifles, but it's still slightly slower than the Gore 43. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong to you Germans out there. So it looks like they buffed the fire rate so it's going to shoot slower. And then it's also going to be a more competitive choice. So maybe we'll see more pros use the M1A1. Speaking of the Gewehr 43, they buffed the fire rate in an effort to make it more competitive. It's still slightly faster than the M1A1, so maybe we'll see more pros use that. And they buffed the recoil closer to that of the M1A1, and then they buffed the clip size to be 12 rounds instead of 10, so they added 2 more bullets per clip, which is, you know, always good, I guess. Takes, 2 bullets to kill, so you get an extra kill out of it. The M30 Luftwaffe Drilling. They buffed the damage per pellet to be on par with the recent sawed-off shotgun changes, so that the shotgun now has a more automatic 2-shot kill and slightly more forgiving 1-shot kill. So they're pretty much buffing that to be in line with the changes that we got with the sawed-off a couple weeks ago, a month ago. And they also buffed the shotgun damage range. It's more feasible to finish off an opponent who didn't die from a rifle bullet. And then they buffed the ADS spread to allow for greater accuracy when shooting enemies that are outside the obvious shotgun range while ADSing. So pretty much they're making this gun usable for .2 Hawk. Yes, .2 Hawk is a shotgun map. Whatever. And the toggle action, they buffed the clip size to be 8 shots per clip instead of 6. So they added 2 more bullets to allow players to have more success with this weapon, and then they nerfed the ADS spread to be on par with other shotguns besides the M30. So with that said, that is the weapon changes. Like I said, I'll leave the link in the description below. That's going to do it for this video. Make sure you drop a like. This gameplay in the background, I went 37-3, guys. Anyway, stay cool, fool. Don't hate. Eat some cake, thick thighs, and bright eyes. And as always, guys, keep on grinding. Thank you for watching the video, guys. I appreciate all the love and support you guys show me. Don't forget to do what the screen says. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also, please follow me on my social media links. Thank you, guys, and have a great day.